Bayern Munich are back. We're back in the Champions League. International break is done and dusted. Bayern Munich's lapse in form, let's hope, is done and dusted after that 4-0 win versus Bayer Leverkusen. I had match reaction, I had my player ratings from that match, so please check it out if you haven't already. But as for this upcoming match against Victoria Pilzen, which I still don't know where they're from. Are they from the Czech Republic? I'm not sure. Are they? I'm gonna have to let's do a quick Google here. Victoria Pilsen. Probably should have checked this beforehand. They are Czech, yes. Well, check that out. But anyway, as for the lineups, there are some important matters to attend to. Thomas Muller and Joshua Kimmich both have the vid, both have COVID, and they are out. Kingsley Coman, Buena Sarr, Lucas Hernandez, they're all presumably still out. Hernandez and Starr definitely will be. Coman, he hasn't been training in the past few days, so I'm going to say he's out. He won't be fit for the match, and he won't be playing in the match. But what does that leave for the lineup? There's still many big choices that Nagelsmann has to make. Of course, this is a Champions League game. And we have Borussia Dortmund coming up. One of the biggest games in our league. Is really a title six-pointer. And I should have checked this earlier also, but let's check when that BVB Dortmund Bayern game is. It's on the Saturday, and Bayern are playing on the Tuesday, which won't leave much rest for Bayern's players. So will Nagelsmann rest his players? I'm not sure, but let's see what I think. Manuel Neuer to start in goal, no surprises about that. In defence, Alphonso Davies, left back, pretty set, although I actually can imagine Mazraoui playing as an inverted left back. This is what we saw Mazraoui play for his country, for Morocco, in the past international break, and by all accounts he did very well there. Could Nagelsmann try this out to see if there is a system where Davies can be benched, or a system where if Davies is injured, there's a solution? I can see it happening. It's not a super important game. Bayern would expect to win with any team we put out, so it's very possible. And with Dortmund looming, I can imagine, but I think it'll be Davies left back. I think centre backs will be Upper, De Ligt, because Hernandez is out. Do we even have another centre back? Oh, we have Pavard, I guess. It could be Pavard as centre back, but I doubt it. Probably be De Ligt Upper, and I think Pavard will get a rest here because I think Mazraoui will play. Pavard was excellent again, I thought, versus Leverkusen. I think I gave him a 7 in my player ratings. But Mazraoui needs to play. Mazraoui played pretty well the few times he's played, so I think that he will be given a chance here, and it'll allow Pavard to rest for the match against Dortmund on the Saturday, as I just checked. So I think it'll be Mazraoui. I could see Pavard in centre-back also. That would be an interesting option, actually. I could see that happening. In midfield, this is where it's the most up to debate. I think Goretzka is 99% sure to play, because we're already hearing rumblings Goretzka's not happy about his role in the team, and it is a role which is correct because Sabitzer's played so well this season. Sabitzer should be the one starting with Kimmich. But with Kimmich out, I think we'll actually see Goretzka Gravenberch. It could be Goretzka Sabitzer, don't get me wrong. It very possibly is. I'm very 50-50. I'm torn on this one, but I feel like Goretzka will start because he needs those minutes, and especially given that, as we presume, Joshua Kimmich will be back for the Dortmund game and Thomas Muller, Goretzka will be out again, and it will be Sabitzer partnering Kimmich, because this game versus Leverkusen seemed to show that in the coach's eyes, Sabitzer was one step ahead of Goretzka. And this is what we also saw when Sabitzer started in the Champions League against Barcelona instead of Goretzka. But for this reason, I think it'll be Sabitzer Kimmich versus Dortmund, which means Goretzka must play here, really. So it'll be Goretzka. I think it will be Gravenberch there, because Gravenberch has played far too well and far too little to not get significant minutes here. It doesn't make sense to play the Sabitzer who's been playing every game in this game, which frankly, even though it's a Champions League tie, is not against one of the big teams in our group. It's not as important given we've beaten the other two big teams in the group. Frankly, it's more important for us to focus on the Bundesliga in this instance, and we should be winning even if Sabitzer doesn't play. And one also point, Sabitzer played in the international break. Sabitzer's been playing a lot. It would be good to have rest for Sabitzer. So I see Goretzka and Gravenberch. It'll be really interesting to see whatever partnership is here, because if you've watched the channel for weeks, I've been calling for Joshua Kimmich's head. I've been calling for him to be benched by Nagelsmann, frankly, and I think that that could be the case. That should be the case, and it'd be really interesting to see how Goretzka and Gravenberch complement each other in attack. I think it'll be Leroy Sane on the right hand side, Musiala in the centre, and Mane on the left. Coach has wanted to give Mane rhythm on the left. He said it in his press conferences. I think this will continue. I think there'll be an insistence on no 4-2-2-2, which might have happened. I think Gnabry will start up front, but Matthias Tell is another interesting prospect. He could be in place of Gnabry, of Sane, of Mane, or Musiala, of any of them, because they could be rested for this big game that's coming up on the Saturday. Tell would be my first expect for a sub also, so it'd be really interesting to see him. I'd like to see him get minutes, and that would be quite nice to see. Now, I think Bayern will play the way they'll play. It'll be a 4-2-3-1 formation. I think they'll play quite similarly to the game versus Leverkusen. I think it'll be really like a 4-2-3-1. Gnabry will play the role Thomas Muller did in that game. The front four will be constantly interchanging, so there will be fluidity. There will be interchanges, interlocking, interlinking, interdishing out of pain to opposition defenders from Bayern's offense. But it will be Sane on the right. Sane on the right, because he's played there in recent times. I think he'll actually provide a lot of width on the right, which, as Mazraoui will be playing on the right back, I think he will often probably be very inverted, like we've seen in previous times where Nagelsmann's even played him as a pseudo 6. So that'll mean Sane will have to be really far wide, Mazraoui inside on that underlap. Davies, of course, characteristically wide, which means Musiala has the facilities to roam very far inwards and really contribute in that left half space. That's the position he's best at, but also close to the centre of the pitch where he can be so involved, just like he was versus Leverkusen. The midfield will be really interesting. I think if it is Sabitzer Goretzka, Sabitzer can drop back, and that'll be the kind of role that he's playing with Kimmich, allowing Kimmich to go forward, but in this case allowing Goretzka to push forward with no worry, because we'll have Sabitzer defending the counter-attack. In fact, Sabitzer Goretzka could be an excellent midfield partnership, but I guess we'll never know because Kimmich is always playing. But we might this time. If it's Gravenberch Goretzka, Gravenberch has those abilities to dribble out of the press. I'm not sure he'll be able to defend as much, but realistically versus Pilzen, we shouldn't be defending so much. So a more offensive midfield in Gravenberch Goretzka should be pushing high up in the midfield. As for who will stay further back, my guess is Gravenberch. Gravenberch maybe slightly deeper than Goretzka, because Goretzka really loves those runs into the box, but I think the midfield will be tenacious. They'll be pressing high. Sane providing that width on the right hand side. Did I say Musiala would be on the left hand side? That's a mistake. Musiala would be in the centre and Mane would be in that left side, but a little bit inwards position. I think that's how Bayern play. Score prediction right off the bat, right off the top of my head. I don't remember the scores in the Barca Pilsen game. I think it was 4-1, but I think Bayern are playing pretty well right now. We're missing key personnel, but Pilsen shouldn't put up a fight against our defense, and their defense shouldn't put up a fight versus our offense. 4-0 to Bayern. Get a good win in the Champions League before this crucial match versus Dortmund. I'll have player ratings, I'll have match analysis of the Pilsen game. Please watch it on the channel. Thank you very much for watching. Comment your score prediction. Thank you and goodbye.